everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So today is Vlogmas day number 6 and we're going to be talking a little bit about my keto journey. So the kids and I are just getting home. It's Tuesday night and it is 8:41. So with that being said, we have not been home and we just had enough time to come home, drop off our stuff before we needed to leave again. And I actually put my crock pot on before I left, and I fixed it last night. So I prepared it ahead and I put it on before we left for Taekwondo, so about 3:30, and it's now 8:41 and it is done. It's well done. We just have a little bit of cleanup to do. So one of the tips for keto that I would tell anybody, especially if you're just starting out, is to make sure that you plan and prep your meals. So last night, Monday night, is my homeschool night and I don't have to go out of the house. We actually have a guest to come over almost every Monday night and have dinner with us. And so as I was prepping meals for her to come by, I actually was doing a little bit of keto prep as well. So I did the cheesy buns, which I have shown on the channel. I found this marvelous recipe for a keto butter cake because I love sweets. Sweets are my thing and it's just what I need to live. So that recipe was life. I did some hamburgers ahead and I also did some bacon. But what I also did was I went ahead and prepped my crock pot, knowing that Tuesday night was a crock pot meal. So I prepped it, I stuck it in the fridge, and then I pulled it out today when I was ready to leave for Taekwondo and the other things I had to do some running around, and then I just put it on. Now we are home and it is ready. So I'm now going to find a veg to go with that so I can feed the kids because it is late. Tuesday is our latest night of the week where we are out, and now I have to feed them. But I do have to feed them later. So I'm going to get that prepared, and I thought I would just kind of take you around the kitchen as I'm doing things and just share with you some great keto tips or things that I think are great keto tips. Again, nothing I share with you is to be substituted for medical advice or nutritional advice. Please seek out your doctor and your nutritionist for any medical advice. I'm just sharing with you what I do, and know that I am under doctor's care. Since I've been on keto, I think I am about, I can't remember my dates, and I'm about a month ahead of Miss Erica, but I'm about a month or two behind Shelly from Shelly's Home Life. So I'll have to get it together. It wasn't quite in June. It might have been the end of August, 1st of September when I started. So let's say September 1, October, November, December, 3 months maybe, but I feel like it's been a little bit longer than that. I went out to Kansas City. Let's see, because I was doing keto when I went to Kansas City. So I'll figure it out and let you guys know. But anyway, I am under doctor's care, but since I have been on keto, I've actually been able to get off one of my blood pressure meds. I was taking 2 blood pressure meds, and now I'm only taking 1, and we are just trying to see if we can either half that dose or stop that med altogether and just see. So when I go back to the doctor in January, I'll get my blood work done, and then they will test me to see, you know, what my blood pressure looks like. It was actually very, very low when I was on the 2 medications after I started keto. So she took me off of one. She's like, Shakema, I'm kind of thinking it's a little bit lower than what it should be, so let's just try this one. So when I go back in January, she's going to test me again, you know, check my blood pressure and everything to see if it's still low, if it's regulated, or what. I have lost weight, so I do anticipate when I go back in January that the scale will show a weight loss. So that's going to be helpful as well. But anywho, let me get around the kitchen and figure out what it is, and I'm going to put with the roast for the kids. So we did Mississippi roast, and I think we're going to do cauliflower. Sounds like a good plan to me. Okay, you guys, so I found some green beans. Didn't find any scissors, but I found green beans. So I'm going to actually put these green beans in the microwave just to take the frost off, and then I'm going to finish them on the stove. And I'm going to do 2 bags just so I have enough for lunch tomorrow. And then I'm going to do some cauliflower as well. over here then. And then this is trash. Thank you. I'm gonna grab some water. Oh, do the waters. Do the waters, I'll get that. So let me show you something. So I'm having to sit you guys on the counter, and I really need to have my tripod, but it is not possible because this little bugger is sitting on the tripod. Not happy, not happy. So I'm having to sit you guys on the counter while I'm trying to do stuff, because we can't find my smaller handheld tripod. No, that's not gonna work either. Okay. We're gonna do our best. That's what we're gonna do. So one other thing that is helpful is my friend that came for dinner, she always brings a rotisserie chicken over, and we like rotisserie chicken. We do the sides. She brings the chicken. She's a older lady that just likes hanging out with us. And so there was chicken left on this bone. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the rest of the chicken off of this bone and put it in a bowl, because tomorrow we're gonna do white chicken chili. But I'm also gonna take the carcass and throw it into the crock pot with a couple bouillon cubes and some seasonings to make chicken broth. So another thing about keto is use up what you have. You know, use as much of your resources as you possibly can, because it's going to save you money in the long run. So first of all, I'm just going to do a little quick thing, and then I will get the chicken started. Alana is outside with the dog. Jackson has already taken Acro out. So ma'am gets extra long time outside, because actually it's her and Alana's secret bonding time. They don't think anybody knows. Hey, Bob. So yesterday I redid my baking cabinet, and I took out these plastic containers that I got from the Dollar Tree that I actually had my coconut flour and my almond flour in. So I'm sending these to the garage because we're using some glass ones now. But I have had to change out so that I could I was holding my laundry pods in those other ones. So now I'm changing them out to put my laundry pods in the former sugar container, and I have to find a sugar container. A bigger sugar container. Not sugar, sweetener. So laundry pods switched. This is going into the garage, and then I'm gonna actually that's going into the laundry room. Y'all, it's Tuesday night and it is late. So this is going into the laundry room. This stuff is going into the trash. Take that one, bud. Okay, so my green beans have buzzed. Now I didn't cook the green beans. I just put them in the microwave to get the chill off. So I still have, they're pretty cold. They're still cold in the bottom. So they're not cooked all the way through. And I'm actually going to finish them on the stove. So in this pan, I have 2 tablespoons of butter. Probably a little bit, 2 tablespoons. I probably need 4, but I'm only going to do 2. Because I'm not doubling the recipe, even though I'm doubling the amount of beans. I found a recipe on, I believe it was Facebook. So it just calls for a half a cup of soy sauce or coconut aminos. I normally do coconut aminos, but it is a bit expensive, and I did not have the $14 that they cost. This was 99 cents, so this went out. I think I got that a couple grocery hauls ago. And I've already made a couple of batches of green beans. We actually really like this recipe, and it's really quick and simple. So I'm going to share with you how it works out. So I'm going to take a tablespoon. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of, well, let me just do 2. tablespoons of the Truvia brown sugar. I'm going to eyeball my 1/2 cup of soy sauce. One of the things I would also encourage you, or another tip, is don't just eyeball stuff. I've been doing it a little, long enough now to kind of know, but you don't want to eyeball when you first start keto. You want to really measure. And we actually have about 4 or 5 sets of measuring utensils because we measure a lot of stuff in this house. We cook a lot. Jackson is actually filling up our water containers. That's what you hear, that noise in the background. It's Jack filling up the containers with water. We were out, and so we needed some. So my green beans, again, are frozen still. We do have our stove on a good heat because I want to cook this quickly. And then I'm just tossing my green beans in that sauce I made. I'm going to let it come up to temperature, and then that's going to be done. The only other thing that I'm going to do is cook the cauliflower, and that also is going to go into the microwave, just so we can have a green, a white, and a meat. You don't have to do that. You could have a salad if you wanted a salad, but we had the cauliflower. I'd rather have the veggies. Then I'm going to pick my chicken. Okay, let me show you a couple keto staples. And these, actually, a friend of mine asked me if I could use any of these items. They were not going to be using them anymore. And I said absolutely 100% sure we could. And so a couple of keto staples are mozzarella cheese. And I do use a low moisture part skim. Every other cheese is full cheese, but I use this because I use this for the fathead pizza. So this is 2 pounds of cheese, and it was 2 pounds of cheese, so probably is about 1 pound left. So that was very helpful. And then we use the Mexican blend cheese. We use cheese for anything. I like to make the cheesy buns, but I like to use this on like broccoli or cauliflower or something like that if I want to give it a little bit of a different flair to it. Pepperoni was probably one of the staples in the very beginning. I don't usually eat these so much more anymore now that I'm further along, but that we could use these on our fathead pizza. Every Friday night we have fathead pizza, so that works for us. A bell pepper butter is a staple. I mean, so many recipes call for butter and cheese or cream cheese, and so when they were giving that away, that's a staple. Sour cream, I'm not a huge fan, but Jackson likes it. I may have to learn to love it, but it's not my fave. And then, of course, eggs. Everything we use has eggs in it. So I am a big fan of always having eggs on hand. So these were just a couple items that we were gifted. Also, she gifted me 2 pounds of ground beef. And because this was already thawed out, I didn't want to lose the meat. So I decided to go ahead and brown it up. And what I'm going to do is then I'm going to put it in bags and toss it in the freezer. And I'll have some to do like pasta if I wanted to do zoodles and spaghetti. Or I'll have some I could put that on pizza. I could do tacos, or taco salad. So I'm going to brown up this meat because it was already thawed out. And I don't want to lose the meat. I'm going to just cook it ahead and then freeze it. These are my green beans. They look really, really good. I don't really like using frozen green beans to do this. I prefer to use the canned, but frozen will work just as well. It's what I had in my freezer, so I'm trying to use everything in my freezer so that we're not being wasteful. So let me share with you the things that are in my freezer, actually, because this is another good keto tip. This is all ground chicken. I got this with coupons. I keep 1 package of onions. I split this into 4 to 6 servings because onions do carry some carbs. 2/3 cups is 6 carbs, but I would probably, and it says there are 4 servings in this package. So I would split this into 4 servings and use that for 3 people. So we would cut the carbs down that way. I always make sure to keep veggies in the freezer. Mostly it's frozen veggies because produce sometimes can go bad quick. I actually am going to pull this out because this is just some old veg that I've been saving, and I'm going to throw it into my chicken stock. Glad I looked in there. Whoop. Whoop. And then I figured out how to do some make-ahead cookies. I make up the batch of cookies, and I got this recipe from Low Carb with Jen. And I make the batch, I plop them out on the cookie sheet, I freeze them into little individual balls, and then I can just cook what I need. Instead of making a full batch of cookies, I just cook what I need because they're already flash frozen. I flash freeze them for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I throw them in the bag, and then I can just pull out one or two whenever I need those. I'm going to use that bun. Dump it into water.
Oh, Mom, I'm on video.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on.
Hi, Mammy. Who's on the vlog?
Why is she in between my legs?
Mammy. Who's so cute?
Okay, you guys, so I have gotten my chicken carcass into the crock pot with just some old veg that I had. It was celery, onions, and mushroom caps. We put a couple of bouillon cubes in. It is 9:30 at night, and I'm going to let this cook overnight. Kind of do like a bone broth and really just break it down and get as much nutrients out of this as I possibly can. What I also did was I went ahead and pulled off the chicken that was left on the bone, and then I'm going to further strip this down and pull the skin and all that off. And I'll use this in white chicken chili for tomorrow's dinner, which will also be a crock pot meal. So with that ground beef that I was gifted, I went ahead and browned it up. I didn't put any salt or anything like that on it. I just browned it, so when I get ready to cook it, I can season it then. You can season it ahead. You can throw onions and peppers in it and kind of cook it all together. But I'm now just letting this cool down, and once it's cool enough, I'm going to bowl it up or bag it up, throw it in the freezer, and then I'll have this for at least 2 meals. So I'll do a pound a meal, or you can even do half a pound a meal. This may be a chili or a spaghetti, or it may go with spaghetti squash. Here is how we finished up our cauliflower. We just put a little bit of cheddar cheese sauce on that. And then our green beans and our Mississippi roast is done. Okay, you guys, so since I have been off work, I took off all my jewelry. I did have on some jewelry. And my hair is now a wreck. I had it up in a clip, but since it's a late night and this is just a casual vlog, I am going to let it be okay. So this is it's 9:30 at night. The makeup is gone. Everything is gone. And this is just how it is. So anywho, I wanted to show you this jacket. I'm not real sure if you can see it really well. It doesn't button in the front just yet, but it was a size 14, and I was able to wear it today very comfortably. Actually, my arms are very comfortable. I don't feel tight or anything like that. So I was excited about that. And then I have on a pair of 16W pants, which are a little bit big for me. So I think I'm in 16As or 16Rs, so average or regular. And I did wear a pair of 18s on Sunday because they just felt really nice, but they were just way too big. So 18s are gone. Before doing keto, I could fluctuate. I could do 18s well. I could do 16s, Ws. Now I am, like I said, in averages or regulars. So my W's are a little big. So I wanted to share with you a couple additional keto staples that I have in my cabinet. Let me give you a tip first. Tip number 1, 2, I gave you 2 tips. This is another tip. I'm going to not count them because I'll get them wrong. When you make the decision to go keto, the best thing you can do is to clear out everything in your cabinets. Go through every spice, every box, bin, jar, everything. because you want to make yourself as successful as possible. And sometimes you have, when you have the temptation around, you may not always stick to the program. So we started out keto, and I think for 2 weeks we just had regular stuff in the house. And it was like, I don't think that this is going to work for us. And my biggest thing, because I'm a couponer, is I did not want to get rid of my stuff. I worked real hard for those items and couponed and all that type of stuff. So I was like, oh my gosh, all my money down the drain. And then I remembered that I knew people, or I could find homes for the things that had been unopened or not eaten or anything like that. Some things we did toss because they were in open packaging and different things like that. But I did decide to go ahead and downsize my kitchen. I went through everything, and we decided to turn strictly keto. So I started off with, in this cabinet behind me, this is my baking cabinet. You're going to see this, or should have already seen this Tidy Tuesday vlog before you see this one. And the kids and I went in, and we decided to redirect our baking supplies. I spent a lot more time cooking and prepping, baking than I did before, and I cooked a lot. But now on keto, you really have to, I mean, you're prepping and planning and cooking all the meals. So I was having to, my KitchenAid is here, and I was having to go into my pantry, which is behind me, to get all of my flours and, you know, other things. And then I had some stuff over in the spice cabinet over there, and I was like, okay, so make any sense, fix this. So the kids and I decided to do a Tidy Tuesday, and I have now put in my almond flour, my coconut flour. This is a little jar of sweetener. I need to get another one about this size for sweetener, because normally I buy the big bag of the stevia from Aldi, but I don't have another one right now. I didn't see one at Goodwill, and I really am not set up this week to purchase anything. So I'm going to just keep my eyes open. I need something that will fit in this space, because I want to keep all my baking things. So almond flour is a little bit on the pricey side. So I started my keto journey with my coconut flour. This you use about, it's about a quarter cup to every 1 cup of almond flour. So this was also cheaper. I found this at Walmart for less than $4 for a bag size. Now I get my almond flour at Costco, and a friend of mine picks it up for me, and because I don't have Costco. And so this is what it looks like. This is just the Kirkland's brand of blanched almond flour. This is not, it's not almond meal, it is almond flour. And so I just pick up this. I got this one because Christmas is coming, and I know there's a lot of baking. I'm doing quiche this year, and I did quiche last year, but I found a low carb, keto friendly pie crust that I can make, and it uses almond flour. So I went ahead and picked this up because I knew that would help me. So another tip is, don't feel like you have to get everything at one time. You really don't. There are some key staple things you want to get, but you don't have to get the almond flour and the coconut flour and the almond meal and the xanthan gum. I think it took me probably 2 to almost 3 months of being on keto before I picked up xanthan gum. It is a lot of recipes that have xanthan gum, and I just was not, it's expensive. It was like $14 or $15, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. But eventually I was able to save enough to pick it up. It wasn't like something that I would just go and buy. Also with the Truvia brown sugar, I had coupons, and they were doing super doubles. They were $5.99. With my super doubles coupon, I got $4 off. So I paid $1.99 for a big bag, and I just picked up several bags at the time. So another question people ask me is keto expensive? I will say this, and I mean this very sincerely. When you first start, you're going to incur some costs because you're taking everything out of your pantries and freezers and all of that, and so you are going to incur some costs in the very beginning. Normally how we shop is, okay, I see what I have and what I can fill in, and so we're not incurring big expenses unless we eat everything down, like do a pantry challenge, eat everything down, and then you restock. You know, some people do a big once a month grocery shop. For me, I shop weekly. That just works out better. I can chase my deals that way. So in the very beginning, if you take everything out of your pantries, freezers, fridges, spices, all that, and you restock with your necessities, you are going to incur some costs. With that being said, after the first initial week, you know, weeks, whatever, I have found that I could shop at Aldi, if you have Aldi in your area, or even my Harris Teeter, and still keep my grocery budget between $40, $75 a week, just depending on how much I have. I'm able to work my groceries in such a way that it works for me. The other thing is, what I had just recently started, probably about, let me say, about a month or two ago, maybe 6 weeks, is I buy just enough of what I need for the week, unless it's a super doubles. Now, I'm always going to stock up on a super doubles. That's just a couponer at heart. That's what we do. But I'm now, in order for me to have extra grocery money for food, I'm couponing more on my non-food items: toilet paper, paper towel, deodorant, laundry soap, all of those non-food items. And because I save on those household items, which is also included in my grocery budget, I'm able to put that savings into my keto foods, or foods to help me stay in ketosis. It's not like there is a keto food, but on the foods I use to keep my body in ketosis. So there is some expense, but you can level it out. I have been able to look up, and you can even Google it, keto grocery list for Aldi, and you'll see that list pop up. Several people have just put stuff out there. Free. I like this baking cabinet. Again, I use this quite a lot. So a couple other staples that I use all the time, or if I can afford, when I can afford them, is I do like to get this Kirkland's bacon. This is Kirkland bacon crumbles. This is about $9.99. I think the almond flour at Costco is $11.99, and at Walmart for that same size is $17.99 or $19.99. It's almost $20. So it's cheaper at Costco. So if you have a friend or a family member or somebody that goes to Costco and you don't have, like I don't have Costco, but my sister does, and so she was able to pick me up. She was over there getting gas. I said, hey, can you pick me up these 2 items? And I only got 2 items. I got the bacon and I got the almond flour. She didn't have a problem picking those up for me. Another staple that we keep in the house now, y'all, okay, pork rinds rule, but these are Southern recipe cracklings. They're not like your traditional pork rinds, where the pork rinds is like the pig skin that's fried and it puffs up. Cracklings have a harder outer surface with a more soft inner. It's what we call the meat. I'm trying to find one in this bag to show you. Okay, let me see. And then I'm going to share it with my friend, with my ma'am. Okay, so this is the outer, covering of the pork rind. This is what it looks like. But inside, it has that meaty, it's hard to explain it, but it's meatier. Here, Mama. Sit. Good girl. But it has just enough crunch with enough tenderness in the middle that makes it very good. And we like getting that extra meat in the middle. So the kids and I eat those cracklings as opposed to eating just the regular pork rinds. Another staple in our house is the 100% peanuts. This is natural peanut butter, creamy, all natural. It just has peanuts. It doesn't even have salt. So we've been getting these because we used to make the peanut butter cookies. Those are not our favorite anymore since we found the low carb with Jen, her chocolate chip cookies, and she uses almond flour. And then Fat for Weight Loss is another guy that I follow on YouTube. He has a chocolate chip cookie recipe that's really good. And also his muffins, his low carb muffins are the best muffins ever, period. I love them. I've made several different ones, and they are just really, really good. So let's talk a little bit about recipes. I'm going to close the baking cabinet because I think I showed you everything. Oh, nuts. Pistachios are higher in carb content. We do try to keep almonds, but in a pinch, pick up some nuts. Also, pepperoni. We pick up either sliced cheese or string cheese. Those are always things we have on hand. I'll show you. I keep a thing in the fridge, and then when I have coupons, I just get my string cheese, and I keep all of this on hand for myself and for the kids. Another staple is eggs. I already said that. We keep eggs in the house. I don't always have meat. You know, meat has always been one of those things, so I look for red tag meats, and when I can find those, I get those. I think in the beginning of keto, we ate a lot of the same things. Broccoli, cauliflower, you know, chicken. As you get more comfortable on keto, you venture out more in your cooking, or at least I did. And now I've started finding recipes that I really, really love, and the kids will let me try it on them without any complaints, or they'll help me cook. So that's another thing with recipes. I think I heard Shelly say this on her channel today. You don't have to go out and buy the recipe books. It is good to have them, but I'll be totally honest. I am just a Googler. Let me just Google this recipe real quick and see what I can come up with. And I probably have printed out more recipes because I just didn't have access to the books. I just couldn't afford them. In the very, very beginning, I went to my local library, and I just typed in keto, books on keto, and so many things popped up. And I have an educator's card, which means I can check out my books for longer, for 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks, and I can check out 50 books as opposed to 25 books on my educator card. So I just went to the library, and I got out those same cookbooks I'm seeing all my keto favorite people using. And I did not do anything other than just use them during my time. And when my time was up, I took them back to the library. And then I would go online and just Google keto chicken recipes and find something that I could use, that I could make at home. So don't feel like you have to have the recipe books is what I'm saying. They're nice to have. And I do have one. I have the Craveable Keto by Kendra Holly, and one of my friends, actually, one of the Taekwondo moms, actually gave it to me. She said, hey, I know you're doing keto. Somebody gave me this book, but I'm not using it. Would you like it? I was like, sure. Oh my God. I was so excited to get it. But I think that's the only keto cookbook that I own. Other than that, I've got them from the library, or I have printed my recipes offline. I have not yet put a keto binder together, but I do plan to do that very soon. Probably when I get ready to put together my Christmas menu plan, then I will go ahead and get the dividers and the sheet protectors, because I am a messy cook sometimes, and I put my spoons and different things on my recipes, and so I have like little stains all over them and that type of thing. But so another favorite spot in the house is my coffee station. You should have seen this in a Tidy Tuesday video, I think it was. But I have gotten some of these sugar-free coffee syrups from, where we get them? Home Goods. They're the cheapest at Home Goods or TJ Maxx or Marshall's at $3.99. And I have collected these over time. I didn't buy everything all at one time, but I've collected a couple as I've gone along. They help to make your coffee lovely. You know, still give you some of that flavor. I don't use sweetener in my coffee, and I can drink it black, but I do like to sometimes have a little bit of flavor. Also, I do the K-Cups because I coupon. So I do always have an assortment of coffees here. I mean, I don't always have these K-Cups, but I did a really good couponing trip a couple of weeks ago when they had Super Doubles here. So I was able to get some good coffee coupons. There are just some things that we do not do anymore, and these are good tips. When I go out, you know, I hear a lot of people say, well, I I'll start again tomorrow. You know, I can have a slip up or a cheat or whatever. And I will honestly tell you that being on keto has not taken away my cravings. I wish that I could have Krispy Kreme donuts. I really wish I could have Krispy Kreme donuts. But I can't have Krispy Kreme donuts. I could eat Krispy Kreme donuts today and then go back on keto tomorrow. But then I would want to eat Krispy Kreme donuts in 2 more days and then go back on keto tomorrow. You have to kind of make it up in your mind what you're going to do. And I'm not going to say that I'm never going to not eat something that's keto, but I will tell you this. I will have to think long and hard about it because I've worked so hard to get where I am. And so I have to make that determination. I also determined that my kids and I would be the same. Jackson is not as strict. I don't make Alana be as strict as I am. You know, if we go to a share group or something and there's something there that they might want, they are allowed to have that because they are kids. I want them to have kid experiences. But we have a large number of childhood obesity, and that is a true fact. It's not fictional. It is, you know, do the research. It's out there. I was a little concerned about putting her on keto because you hear all the things, well, they're growing kids and they need this and they need that. So she sees a specialist for a couple of things we're trying to check for. And her pediatric endocrinologist said, no, she's fine to be on it. It's no problem. You know, and she was able to maintain her weight before she went back for her last visit. She does have a weight loss goal of 4 pounds in 6 months. So we're going to try very, very hard to see if we can make that goal. And like I said, we are both, I have a primary physician. She has a pediatrician and a pediatric endocrinologist. So we are both under care for this lifestyle. So when I go out to places, you know, I check the menu. I ask questions. Hey, is this, is that? Because I don't want all of my hard work to go, you know, down the drain. I've worked hard for it. I really have. We are working on eating down everything in our fridge and freezers for the week. So I do have the outside freezer. I bring in enough food for the week. We eat down what's in there. I used to keep a lot of food in the house, in the fridges. I felt like if we didn't have the fridge full of stuff, that we didn't have any food, which was not true. And we would just eat it because it was there. So now we keep the necessities. And when I say bare necessities, it's like I'm not overloading my fridge with stuff. We try to eat produce, berries, lettuce, spinach. We try to eat those closer to the beginning of our week when we shop for groceries, so we're not having food waste on the back end by losing produce. I do let the kids have strawberries and blueberries and blackberries and raspberries. We have all the berries. We do keep cabbage or slaw on hand just to make meals a little bit easier. And I'm trying to think, okay, so a couple of things that make keto a little bit easier. Everybody's heard of burger in a bowl. You know, burger in a bowl, egg roll in a bowl, like those, white chicken chili, all those things are like, they help you stick with keto in the very beginning. But the other week I was on Instagram and I saw somebody post cheesy buns. Cheesy buns has become a game changer for us because now we can actually have a bun on our burger. And it's made out of mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, and eggs. 3 simple ingredients. And as you begin to venture out in your cooking, you will find lots and lots of videos out there or recipes out there that will help you to maintain or help you amp up your keto game if you want to do that. There's some things I haven't tried, but I'm not afraid to try anything. Main thing on keto, prep. You have to prep. If you don't prep, you're more prone to slip or dip or cheat, or then you're forced into intermittent fasting, because you're fasting from the time you go to work to the time you get home because you didn't have anything to prep for your lunchbox. So on Saturday or Sunday, just depending on my work week or my, weekend plans, I will begin to prep. I always have bacon. I always have egg muffins. We always have some type of a muffin. We have some type of a dessert, and I can throw everything in the freezer and it'd be just as fine with no problem. Pull out what you need. I like to flash freeze my sausage balls, and then I can put them in the oven as I need them. I think flash freezing has helped me a lot, because a batch of sausage balls could be 18 or 20 or 25 balls. I make them small. So you think, oh, they're small, not a lot of carbs. But if you eat and eat them, you are going to build up your carb count. So what I do is I make them, I flash freeze them, and I only pull out what I need. I do like to keep either bacon or sausage or something ahead. Now we can have breakfast sandwiches, because I do the cheesy buns with a sausage and an egg and a cheese, and it just makes the best sandwiches. So again, we were doing well before I found these new recipes. Great new fave recipe is the keto peanut butter cheesecake fat bombs. Oh my goodness. I am not a fat bomb lover when it is made out of coconut oil, but I really, really love the cream cheese peanut butter fat bombs that I made on my channel. I think it was a week or so ago. Fave keto people to follow on keto. Shelly from Shelly's Home Life is probably, she was just doing it at the right time, and I was getting ready to start. I'd already followed her before, but she started keto at the right time, and so I have just been so interested in following her journey. Then I started keto, and then not long after that, another one of my faves, Miss Erica. If you haven't went over to those ladies' channels, head on over. You would love them. They are fab. And so Mrs. Erica started doing keto, and of course they share what they eat in a week. I just don't have time to do that. I'm barely staying above water doing what I do, the videos that I am able to get out. So they share what they eat in a week, and I just enjoy watching other people's videos. I think it's called, there's another one called Flav City. I can't remember the guy's name. Philip. I don't know if Philip is right, but Flav City on YouTube. I try to link all of these below if I can. I'm the world's worst linker, but I'll try. Does keto recipes and meal preps. Fat for Weight Loss is a guy, and he does a lot of good recipes. I think he's in Australia. Who else is following keto that I follow? Keto she's either Keto Kelia or Kelia Keto. I think she's Keto Kelia. I can't remember, but I follow her. Today I was on Keto Karma. If you want to know what your macros are, I went to ketokarma.com, typed in all of my, female, height, weight, all those little logistic questions that they ask you, and it populates for you what are your macros. So I did my macros and I did Alana's macros. We're very similar. She gets a little bit more fat than I do and a little bit more protein, but we're real similar. So, those are just some things that I can help, say have worked for me. Always staying on plan, always planning to stay on plan. Pack a snack, throw something in your purse, especially if you know you're going to be out for a long while. It's so easy for us to fall back into bad habits and slide through the drive-through. For me, I mentioned this last week in a different vlog that coffee creamer is one of my, I love coffee creamer, but sometimes I'll use too much, and I know that might be more carbs than I'm willing to spend, because for every tablespoon is 2 carbs, even the sugar-free kind. So I may have to jump back to doing black coffee or 1 tablespoon of creamer, or do my heavy whipping cream. I love the bulletproof coffee. It is just frothy and foamy, and I just love it. But I haven't even had it in a long while because I leave so early in the mornings for work. I don't really have enough time to make it. So I have not had that. I should try to put that back in on weekends, because we actually just do ours in the blender. I don't have one of those little frothy things, but I just have a blender, so that makes it a little bit difficult as well. But anywho, those are just a few tips, a few things that we're doing around here. I have experienced weight loss. I would probably say in the whole time I've been doing keto, maybe about 7 pounds, 7 to 8 pounds. I'm not a big weight dropper. It doesn't matter what I do. I am a turtle. Also, I'm not tracking on my tracker like I should be. So that is a goal for 2019, is to track. But I don't want to lose weight fast. If I lose weight fast, I'm going to get something crazy going in my head like, oh, okay, I could lose weight, eat what I want. No, not for Shakema. I have to go slow and steady wins the race for me. So a goal for 2019 is to track. One of the reasons I have not been tracking is because we have like cinder block walls at work, and I don't get signal, so I can't get on the Wi-Fi. And in order for me to track it on my tracker, I have to have the Wi-Fi. So I don't have that. I don't have it at school. So I can't track it. I can log on and track it, but it doesn't sync with my home tracker. So it just makes it a little bit difficult. I can track in the summer because I have, I'm home. But I'm just going to either have to write it down, or I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to figure out a way to track it even while I'm at work. So anywho, fave things, fave veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, zoodles. I was not a zoodle person, but if you would do a little bit of butter in a pan with some garlic, minced garlic. Oh my word, absolutely delicious. And you can put any type of, white sauce, or be careful with your red sauces because some of those have sugars, and you do want to read your labels. My kids read labels now. We are label readers. I actually made a pork rind taco salad the other night. We were at my pastor's house. They had weenies with some barbecue sauce, and I was like, I cannot eat that. So I got a package of those cracklings. I got some of that queso cheese with some shredded lettuce and sprinkly cheese. No, I didn't even have sprinkly cheese, but shredded lettuce, the pork rinds, the white queso, and then some rotisserie chicken is what I used for that, and it was delicious. People who were not non-keto folks were eating it. Delicious. Holidays, we stick to keto. I'm the cook. I'm sticking to keto. I'm not changing we went to Thanksgiving at my mom's. They had traditional Thanksgiving. We had keto Thanksgiving, and my stuff went over just as well as the regular stuff. So doesn't matter if I have to travel with my keto stuff. I travel with my keto stuff. I am on a journey, and I am sticking to my guns. So anyway, I hope that something I share with you motivates you to start. If you have questions that I can answer, I will. Again, I'm not a medical professional. Please seek your medical professional out for any type of health questions, because I am not qualified to answer that. Just sharing with you my journey. And a lot of people have asked questions. So anywho, thank you guys so much for stopping by our channel for Vlogmas Day number 6, our keto update and what we use in our kitchen to stay keto friendly. We love you guys. If you like this video, thumb us up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you at the next video. Bye now.